Well, hello friends. Today we are going to work a little bit on the table view widget. So if you've been watching the latest few videos, you probably seen me struggle to find like the right column width for things in table views, like these things here. I'm always fidgeting with these guys, trying to figure out like what size should it be, and that's just a whole lot of silly. So I think today I'm going to implement some kind of feature where you can tell the table view to just size these guys so that the content fits, basically. And I guess we can start with like sizing them so that, or yeah, I was thinking like we could do the header only, but like then this one would end up like this, so that's obviously not right. So yeah, it should be to the content. And then maybe there could be a policy that it never shrinks, it only grows or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna do now. So let's go look in the table view widget, because then I can finally stop wasting my time on figuring out the right column width for things, because it would just be right. Although actually, like in a case like this, it would be kind of jarring. Like if this thing starts out, I guess it would start out with like these guys, and then when something pops into the table, then it would just like expand. But maybe that's still okay. I don't know. We'll find out. So, how do we do this? I guess when we first, we don't really have a concept of like doing a layout of these things. We just sort of, so the way that the table view works is that you have a table view widget, and then it has a data model that it queries for, you know, what the data in each cell should be, what's the name of the headers, how wide are the headers, what font to use, what color, blah, 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 blah. So the table view is really kind of just a dumb viewport onto a data model. And of course we're going to keep it that way, but we need to do this laying out at some point. So I guess after the model does an update, he will call, let's see, what is it called? Did update in the model, and that will call did update model on each of these views. Yeah, this virtual here. And the table view version of that is here. So when this means that some data in the model changed, or something about the model changed, and we need to like redraw the view, basically. So here we could also recompute the sizes of the columns. So let's see. Update column sizes. I guess we can make a little helper for this. And I'm thinking that we should have a mode for this thing, or I'll put this down here next to this guy. Column sizes, and this should be a mode. We'll call it Autosize columns. No, size columns to fit. Size columns to fit content. I like these very, very descriptive, verbose, expressive names like that. So that's what we're going to do. B. Okay. And then let's go and implement update column sizes. And you can close this down because we don't need that right now. Okay, so if we don't have a model, then whatever. We don't do anything, because you can have a view can be in a state where it doesn't have a model, and then it's just supposed to render as like an empty white frame. So that's something that we have to take into account and everywhere. What was the size columns to fit content? If that's not true, then we'll just ignore this as well. Okay. Now, what we want to do is measure the size or the width of everything in this column. So we just have to iterate through the data, basically, and look at every row in each column, actually. So I guess we'll do it column by column. Wait, what's the column count called? Oh, model column count. Let's stash that in a local, because that's a virtual, so I don't want to be calling that over and over. And actually, if we look down here, this is sort of what this code is already doing, so we can just take this. So let's see just that we're doing the right thing here. Column count, iterate over all the columns, and then, but we are not going to compute the content width, we're going to compute the column width. And then we'll go through all the rows. Okay, so this isn't really at all what we were trying to do. So if a column is hidden, then we're not going to visit that column. Continue. And then we'll rename this variable here to, can I rename it, please? Column. Yeah, this copy paste job was a bad idea. We'll let that go. And then this thing can go in here. Okay, now for int row. Okay, and then this one we can also prefetch, because it's not going to change during the iteration, right? And it's also a virtual call. You can see the key creator will italicize virtual calls. It's like this nice little visual hint that just makes you aware that you're calling a virtual. I like that type of stuff. Okay, so then we'll say column width is max of column width. And then we'll compute the cell width. I guess it is the, wait, what is this? Column width. Oh yeah, but this is not helpful because this is just querying this thing that we're trying to get rid of. So we want to measure the text that's in the cell. So that's text is model data, and then we have to get the data at the index of row and column. That's what we want, yeah. And then we'll get the text this way. Let's see, font width text. Or am I doing this right? I'm just yeah, I think this is right. Okay, so font width text. Oh yeah, and this call here to data, it will give us a variant, so we have to convert that to a string. And now we're able to call width on it, the font here. Okay. And we should probably also do this for the column header. So we'll start with the column header here. We'll do model, column name. Let's see. We'll just call it header width. Oops. Font width Or how do we paint the headers? Paint the headers. I'm just thinking what font do we use for the header text. We use default bold font. So we want to make sure that we measure using that font as well. Okay, so then that would be like this. But this would be a bit easier to understand if we said header font. Default bold. So do we have that in more places? No. So let's just make a header font thingy. That will make the code a little bit clearer. Actually, it can be a static. Table view. Const font. That's good, right? Yeah. I don't know why this thing is mutable. That doesn't really make any sense. I'm not going to fix that right now. Header font. Okay, so we are back up here. Header font, column name. Column to string, not needed. Okay, so I think everything is good there. And we can say that that's like the starting value for that. But probably there's some amount of padding in these things, right? So when we paint the headers, textract, yes, the horizontal padding, that's what we're looking for. So the horizontal padding on both sides of the column text. And we're just going to do that up here. So we'll say plus m horizontal padding times 2. And same thing down here. Okay. And I think that's cool. So where can we store this? ColumnData. I guess we'll store it in the ColumnData. ColumnData is the width of the column, whether the width has been initialized. So this is going to work a little bit differently now. And then the visibility of the column, because you can turn off individual columns if you want. And then just an action that you can use to toggle the visibility of the column. So let's see. So when we finish this loop, then we'll say ColumnData, column width is column width, and ColumnData column. We'll just override it like that. And let's see. Then I'm thinking, let's see, how do we want this to work? So CommonMetadata. So currently what we do is, for computing the column width, currently is when you call column width with a column index, then we grab the column data, and if the column data doesn't have an initialized width, then we call the model asking for column metadata, and then we get the preferred width that way. So this is basically, we're going to ignore this now, I guess. So we'll say column width. Just do if we can assert here actually. Assert that we're not sizing them to fit the content. Okay, so then we shouldn't be here if we're doing a size to fit. And then finally, in the process manager, what was that thing called? Network statistics widget. Yeah. So here we have these two table views in the process manager. So let's go out here and say set size columns to fit content true. And let's build all of this and see how it works. Okay. Then this didn't even start up. We died in that assertion right away. Okay, so I guess we're calling column width before we've done the automatic sizing thing. That's fine. So why are we getting called here? Did update model, update content size. Oh shit. I think that, yeah, so we're doing this, we're doing update content size before we update the column sizes. But we should actually do it the other way around, because the content size here depends on the column sizes. So we need to compute the column sizes first. So this is straightforward. We just move those around. Still died. Now what? Did update model, update content size. I'm a little bit surprised, but okay. Did update model, update content size. This doesn't make any sense. Because this thing should have been set, right? For each column, for each row. Oh shit, wait, hold on, this one is backwards. Yeah, stupid little bug there. Alright, let's see how this goes. And now these things are auto-sized. So what do we think about that? Interesting. Let's see what happens when we open a TCP connection. So I'll just go on IRC. And look at that. They got wider. Now when we kill it, they shrink. Oh. The shrinkage, I don't like the shrinkage that much. So I think maybe we should prevent that. So we'll say that it will be the max of, let's see, auto column data. Don't want to do the lookup over and over here, but just do this. I kind of hate writing things this way, but I have to because I'm using the same name for the local as the name of the function here. But there's really no better name for this thing, and this has the one added benefit that if you do it this way, then it becomes a bug to call the function again, because now the name has been rebound to be this local. So like, since I know that I don't want to be calling this again because I already have it cached here, then there's this sort of neat little effect, if you know what I mean. Anyways, so we'll just do this. ColumnData.length. Okay, and let's try that again. But I kind of like this. I feel like this is going to simplify my, my GUI programming a little bit. Okay, so now these are the widths, and then let's open up Chain Viewer. Oh, come on, Chain Viewer, start. There we go. And it got wider, and then it didn't shrink back, so that's cool. That is cool. Let's see if it changes from doing this. Yeah, it changed a little bit. And then they don't shrink. Very, very cool. I like it. I think this is like a fairly reasonable behavior, so I think we should have this. I'm wondering, should we have the same for this table? This one is trickier, right? Because it's using like icons and stuff for the width. So maybe, oh, maybe this is actually a good challenge. Because the thing is that here, like, we're calling toString on the data for a column, but the data could be an icon. It doesn't have to be a string. So we need to take care of that. Or it could be like a bitmap, I mean, or an icon, whatever you call it. So it would probably be a good idea to try to deal with that scenario. So we'll do the same thing for process manager main, gtable, no? What is this thing? Is this not a table view? Table view? Process table view. Oh, it's a subclass. This, I wrote this back when I was thinking like the things should subclass be table view. But really, like, I should probably just take the tiny amount of functionality that's in this thing and just replace it with a vanilla table view. But not right now. So let's see. I just want to, I guess, set it to this mode. So what do we use this guy here? Let's say process table view, or hold on, where he was creating the model here. Okay, so let's be proactive. Say set size columns to fit content true. Because this thing is going to fall apart a little bit, so that'll be interesting to see. Okay, so yeah, this thing is not great. So I think what ends up happening is that if you have a variant that contains a bitmap, then if you convert that to a string, then it will say something like bitmap width times height, you know? So that's really not what we're looking for here. So we need some smarts for this. Let's go to gtable view, and here where we are, let's do this instead. So cell data, if cell data dot is bitmap. Oh, great. We'll say int cell width 0. And then we'll have an else case like that, yeah. Cell data as bitmap dot width. That's a toString, yeah. That's quite pleasant. And then I guess we can add this one afterwards here. So horizontal padding times 2, but am I using this right? Horizontal padding. Content rect. Blah, blah, blah. Header rect. It's the column width plus the horizontal padding. Oh, shit. Right, so that's why the header rects are getting wider, because the header numbers are not supposed to include the padding. Well, I suppose that makes sense. Or the column, it doesn't expect that for the header. And we are just baking it in there. We're just baking all of it in there, so maybe we shouldn't do this at all, actually, yeah. So, because the padding will be added later on in the paint code anyway. Yeah. So we don't need to be adding this. Okay. Well, that makes things a little bit easier. Look at that. Wow, this table got so tight suddenly. It's almost a little bit too tight. But I also kind of like it this way. That is rather pleasant. I think we can just let it be this way because I like it. Okay, let's apply this technique to some other tables. Let's do the same thing for these other dice. Because now that I have a hammer, everything starts to look like a nail. Process file descriptor map widget. True. Okay, and process memory map widget. These things are very similar to each other. Could probably be sharing code. It's a bit stupid that they don't. Yeah, so we'll just do the makeover for the process manager in this video, and then I can go and like apply this to other classes and other apps offline, but don't need to take you on that journey. Why did we die? Crashing in the terminal because of a stack alignment issue. Well, I keep getting that more and more lately. I don't know what's up with it. Should probably look into what that actually is, but it needs to happen at some point when I'm not recording, because I don't want to get sidetracked with investigating that right now. Okay, and then when we open something, then yeah, then it changes like that. That's cool. Very, very cool. And I'm thinking that, I mean, I'm just thinking now, but things like the alignment of these, it could probably be computed based on the data rather than like me having to specify. Because, for instance, in the process memory map model, which is the one that we're looking at here, in the column metadata, we are telling telling the view like, here's the initial width, which it's now not used anymore. And then we're also passing the text alignment, but probably the text alignment could be automatically inferred from like, if you just take one sample and if it gives you a number, then we could default to right aligned. And that could be just a default behavior, and then you could override this if you wanted. But as a default behavior, I think that would make sense in 99% of cases. So anyways, I'm not going to get sidetracked with that now. It's just thinking out loud. And yeah. So let's see what we have. Right, so these table view changes, let's look at them. Or a patch review, as we also call it. Okay, so maybe we look at the header first here. So we're adding this little bool for the flag size columns to fit content. That's cool. We're adding update column sizes and then a helper to get the header font. Right, and then we're just having a setter and getter for that flag. Here's the header font thingy, and here's us using the header font to just clarify the code. And here we assert that that if we're in size columns to fit mode, then we don't end up querying the column without being able to answer that question already. I'm just thinking now, I'm just going to bring up some other app that has a table view in it just to make sure that things don't blow up. So let's just bring up the Chan viewer. Come on, Chan viewer, don't be like that. These are name resolution failures that do this. Come on. I don't know why this is happening. Is anything going to work? Okay, I'm going to have to use file manager or something. Okay, well, here are some manually specified column widths, and it still works, so we're good. I don't know why my DNS is not working. Yeah. Anyways. Okay, so we're good with that, and then here in did update model, we do update column sizes before we update the content size. That's good. And then here is the meat of this patch. So update column sizes. If we don't have a model, then do nothing. If we're not in the size columns to fit content mode, do nothing. Okay, and then we cache the row and column counts. And actually, let me do table view. I'm going to do a little bit of a thing here where we do auto model is star this model, because then we're hiding the model so you can't call it, but also turning it into a dotable local, which is just so pleasant. Look at that. Freaking love getting rid of arrows and putting dots instead. I got a pull request today where one of the commits was just fixing up something so that he could use dots instead of arrows, and I was so happy to get that patch. That was beautiful. I just love dots. Anyway, so let's see what we were doing here. And we don't need that new line. We could keep that new line here instead. Okay. So for each column, if the column is hidden, then we just ignore it. Okay. And then the header width is the header font width for the column name. And then the column width, we start out with the header width. And then for each row, we get the cell data for each cell in that column. And we say cell width is 0. I mean, yeah, it doesn't need to be, but I like to always initialize everything. Like I don't like leaving these dangling uninitialized things and like, oh yeah, I know that I'm initializing it later, but the compiler can tell that this thing is like a useless store and it can get rid of it, and I can get into a good habit of like always initializing things. So I think that's a fair compromise. Although I wish that you couldn't have like uninitialized data in locals, because it's just such a stupid part of the language. Like uninitialized data, it just shouldn't let you have that. Or at least it shouldn't be implicit. Like you should have to explicitly opt into uninitialized data. Anyways, so if the cell data that we get is a bitmap, then we compute the cell width based on that cell data as a bitmap and the width of that bitmap. Okay, otherwise we take the font width and for the string in the cell. Cool. And then the column width is the max of the current running column width or this new cell here. So if this one is wider than what we had already, then that becomes the new column width. Cool, 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 cool. And then we grab the column data. So this is like the internal metadata for each column that the table view stores. And we save the width is the max of the old column data, the old column width and new column width, so that we never shrink, we only grow. And then we just say we have initialized the width. This is just to override the case where like you don't have automatically initialized column width. Okay, I think this is good. So git add, we can do this, commit, g table view, add for automatically resizing columns fit content. Sizing columns to fit content. So, columns will grow to fit content. They will never shrink or grow. This is quite nice. This means I can spend less time fidgeting with column widths. Oh, my cute smile doesn't fit. Now it does. Haha. Because I want to hit 72 characters. It used to be 77, but then I realized that 72 is even better, because 72 is the GitHub UI cutoff. So if you go past 72 on GitHub, then they might like wrap your commit messages in this awkward way, and it looks stupid, and I don't like it. And 72 that's the cutoff point. So that's what we're gonna use. So cool, cool, cool. And then this next patch is just enabling this for all the tables in the process manager. So let's say, process manager, enable automatic column sizing for all table views. Make use of the neat new mode in gtable view. Cool. All right. Let's push this and maybe see it one more time. Can I get a chan view, please? So this one does not do it, but it still works, so that's good. And here's the process manager, and it's totally doing it, and it totally works. Look at this shit. Oh. Come on, look at those size to fit columns. How nice is that? Look at these. Okay, and let's bring up Chan View. Chan Viewer, come on, Chan Viewer, you died? Stop dying. I need to add some retry mechanism. Wait a minute, that didn't look quite right. Damn it, okay. Hold on, let me start over with this thing. So I bring this guy up, and we look at network, and then we go on IRC. And why is everything dying all the time? So this thing doesn't quite fit. That ain't right. Why are you not fitting? So it needs to be a little bit wider here, actually. Why is that? Let's see. Is this some paint event? Okay, so here we are iterating over the columns and painting them. So I don't know what's going on here. This thing's going haywire. The new TCP implementation has maybe it has a bug or two, but we're working on that. Anyways, so what was this thing doing? Well, here's the same bitmap logic. Is bitmap is icon. Ooh, should probably do something for that too. But we'll worry about that later. But let's see. What was the thing? So here's the cell rect, and the cell rect is what we use to put the text. And the cell rect is as wide as the column width. I don't. Why is it doing this? So is it because of the text alignment? Because like I feel like maybe this is something to do with the horizontal padding that I kept messing with. Pixel twiddling, isn't it great? Okay, so cell rect is using the column width, which is the thing that we computed earlier, and we're just trying to print this text in there, which is the data. It's just this thing. So why wouldn't it fit? It's really strange. Or rather, why is it doing the ... Because I guess the issue is that it's doing the ... So what happens if we turn off the ... Let's just see, because maybe there's a bug in the elision. And we're seeing, and yeah, okay, so it actually does fit, but we're still dotting it for some reason. Now, why is that? So maybe the text elision is just a little too eager. Let's see. So the way draw text works is that first we break the text up into lines, compute the bounding rect, and then for each line here we draw that line. Okay. And what's the line rect? The line rect is the bounding rect width. So we get this rect coming in, and then the alignment was center right. So the bounding rect width is going to be font dot width for this line. So far so good. It should be the same as the width we had before. Draw text line. Text width is font dot width for the final text. So it thinks the font width is greater than the rect width. Why do you think that? Draw the text line. I guess we can just print here. Final text too wide. Rect width. Okay, and then we will just try to see what this turns out. Right, so these are the numbers, and they are 1 pixel too wide. Huh. Why is that? Guess we can figure it out. Let's see. Let's print out the column views that we are computing up here. I can say column name. Okay, and we'll know what we computed, just to see that we're computing something different than what we end up with in the paint code. And something died because, wait, what? Debug put string. Calling this thing with a null putter. Well, that's a stupid problem. Let's just say if characters. Now we're in a whole other space here, but let me just get rid of that problem. Okay. One more time. Still crashing? Assertion failed size. Why are you failing its size of all things? Oh, I guess, oh shit, wait, hold on. If the length is 0, then we should just return. Because, you know, it's okay to debug put stir an empty string. Okay, here we go. Now in the network area here, which one are we looking for? I guess the ACK, or well, we don't even know yet because we need to actually get some data for it. Okay, so now the ACK column down here. Where are you? ACK 41. 41 can't fit in 40. So we're trying to fit it into a 40 pixel wide, even though we computed for 41 up here. So we knew that it was supposed to be 41. So why is the rect 40? First thing we're going to do is just make a commit for this. So kernel put stir okay. Something is going wrong in draw text. Maybe, I wonder if it's the intersecting code here. Let's see. Let's just print out what we'll just do this. So, draw text. Line rect intersected, because that's like what it's going to become. Intersected with rect. Okay. So I wonder if this is where we're messing it up. So where does rect come from? Rect is the input, isn't it? Yeah, so rect is a const input. I guess maybe we should have printed that too, but we'll get there. Alright, getting very spammy now. But we just need a little bit of, just need to see the problem once. Alright, here we go. Let's see, so ACK is 29 can't fit in 28. So it's 29 wide going in to draw a text line. Is that really true? We're not doing anything to it. Okay, so hold on. Hold on. So this will be the final thing, right? We'll just add width, and then draw a text line. We'll say yeah, this is maybe not the most straightforward way to do this, but I like printf debugging, and this is not really, I don't really know how else to debug this right now, so this will be fine. I don't particularly like debugging these type of issues, but it's not like I'm going to leave it like this, so. So what did we get? 41 can't fit in 40. Alright. But the line rect width is 40. Oh shit, it is 40 here. Wait, so... Oh, but now I lost the information that I wanted to have. So is it the intersect call that's messing this up then? Sheesh. Intersect, where are you? Here. Okay. Bounding wait, back up. What are we doing here? So wait, are we moving the bounding rect? Because right, because we're intersecting them. So I guess we've moved the bounding rect. So we're doing a center right. Bounding rect to that location. Rect.right. I think so. Yeah, I think I see the problem here. So we're moving it based on rect.right as the rightmost pixel inside the rectangle, but we really want to move it based on right plus 1, which is like the pixel after the rectangle. So I think this is the fix for computing the bounding rect of the rectangle. Because this trips me up often, honestly. Like rectangle.right, that it's like the last pixel inside the rectangle before you reach the outside. If you know what I mean. Now everything fits right. Yeah. So that was the issue. Oh shit, that was very loud down here. Curious. Okay, so let's see. We got all this crap. This was the only change that we needed. So debug, get that, and also ng table view. Right, so let's see. Painter. Fix off by 1 error in right aligned bounding rect computation for right aligned text. Fix off by 1. I gotta make this fit in bounding rect. Right aligned text. I often another instance of rect right is the last pixel inside the rect, not the first pixel outside the rect. Messing me up. Okay. Cool. So let's try this one more time. So this ended up taking a little more time here because of the bug, but I'm glad that we fixed it because can't have bugs like that. That broke the whole feature. The point was to not get ... and to like have the perfectly sized column. Oh, look at those. Perfectly sized to fit columns. Oof, so nice. All right, cool. So I think this is going to be it for today's video. So if you made it this far with me, then I thank you sincerely for watching and for hanging out, for coming by, and you know, all the usual stuff. And I hope you saw something interesting today, and I hope to see you next time. So, bye-bye.